Good everyone, welcome to today's bonus video, and today we have a flight that I had to respade the Potez 630. Now with the recent 1.89 drop, the Potez 630 has been given a bit of a buff to its engines. Originally, the Potez 630 was a bit underpowered, let's just say. It could still turn, it could still dive, it could do everything, but it just couldn't climb, it couldn't maintain speed very well. It had no web, so you were stuck at 100%, and even then, that just felt like he was applying half throttle, especially when you were stuck. But now, oh my Jesus, this is a change aircraft. So what have Gaijin done to give the 630 a bit of a hand? Well, the engines have been given WEP and they've been increased to up to 700 horsepower on, well, takeoff power, which is also raw emergency power. That's pretty insane, because if we look, the 633 now has the weakest engines, if I remember rightly. The 631 has pretty much the same takeoff power as the 630. But obviously, the 630 is lugging less weight without gondolas, without bombs, if you choose to take them, of course, on the 631. I tell you, people, this is a fantastic plane now. If this thing goes up to 2.0, I will not be surprised. So, why do I think the Potez 630 should go up? Well, you're going to see. Let's just say that. The 630, I never really did anything on this aircraft because I spaded it long ago. It's a twin-engine heavy fire designed to counterplane, well, be like a plane like Bowfire, BF-110. And, well, it used to be a bit of a sort of meh aircraft. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, but it got the job done. The 631 was a perfect aircraft for being better than this because you had the 220s, but you also had 6 machine guns and 2 light bombs. However, the 630 was sometimes field modified to have those gondolas, but I'm not too fussed about them. Then obviously the 633, which we have in game, is the light bomber variant. Well, the 630 is used to be the worst of the bunch, and yeah, it had decent firepower, but your 20 mils drain fast, and you're gonna see that in this battle. Um, but overall, if you haven't flown a 630, now's your time. Let's just say that it is a fantastic plane now. It handles so much better. It just feels better in the controls. The engines provide a lot more power, so it can get up to altitude quicker. So let's just say, if I see this thing, I'm gonna have to go out of my way to kill it. That's how dangerous it is now. So let's jump right in and let's take a look at the buff and what it did for it. You saw the replay name there, that is a Star Wars reference. The buff is, well, it should be the Force is strong with this one. Obviously, that's a terrible Yoda impression, but because I haven't got my voice is feeling a bit this morning, so yeah. But this thing is changed. I can assure you that it is changed. It just feels a lot better. So obviously, this was my first flight of patch 1.89, so I thought, well, it was taking the piss to get into a battle with my CR42 Mark Collins to get the RE2002. Obviously, you'll see this after the RE2002 first flight. And you can see already, if I did this sort of climb angle in the old 630, it would never do it. It just would never do it. Simple fact. It would have, well, let's just say you'd be at stall speed right about now. But because of the WEP and the improved power overall to the engines, I think it's been given about another 200 odd horsepower in the engines. You can see here the climb rate is dramatically improved. The plane's energy retention in the climb is dramatically improved, because right now it'd be a stall speed if it was the old 630. And well, I'm just going to leave the child. There wasn't all that much, but even so. And the plane just felt so different, because when you go from because I used to use this thing in tank forces to attack panzers from above because of the 20 mils ripping them to pieces. when you go from doing that in a rather underpowered twin-engine fighter, which can still put up a fight, to something like this, I think I will definitely be using this more in tank forces. Maybe to like do a combo. Maybe the B1 Biz and this would be a pretty good combo, including the 633 Potez. I think that could work. Now on the enemy team there is a bomber pilot named Elias. I think it's Elias who actually tries to do this. Where's the 223? No, it's not that one. It's this 223. Because this 223 has a bit of J-88 problems. Let's just say that. I believe it is Elias after he drops his bombs. You can see here, normally I would be about level with those HE-100s. Not anymore. I'm well above them. And this plane just feels so different. It feels like the 631 when it really shouldn't be. I'm not certain if this engine buff is historical. Maybe they've taken the 631's flight model, given it the 631's engines, but kept it as the 630. Maybe it was a field modification or like a upgrade to the aircraft. Not really sure. To be honest, half of the French planes I knew nothing about when they came in. I knew about the MS-410, things like that, like the just the H-75s as well. I knew about the Potez series, but I didn't know a lot about them. But you can see here at 15,000 feet, if we was in the older 630, we wouldn't even be touching 10, most likely. And we'd be about on par with those HE-100s in terms of current climb, let's just say. And that's with an air spawn. So I was thinking of diving on this Ju-87 using my newfound altitude advantage, and well, I felt like I had the high ground in this one, and clearly I bloody did. And now the 223 pilot is going to have a bit of a bollocking towards the Hampton pilot for nicking his base. I mean, there's technically two right bases, so in a way, he still bombed his target, so whatever. So I let Godard know I'm coming his way. This Ju-88 for some bloody reason. I don't even know what level this guy was. Level 13, he thinks he can play fighter. I don't know why you would try it. I mean, especially to a 223. He gets away with it, surprisingly, but don't worry, I teach this guy a lesson. So he's coming in to obviously intercept the 223. I am on the way to try to intercept. Obviously, I'm giving the engines full whack. And at these altitudes, the 630 would barely be touching 200 in the olden, or the olden 630, let's just say. You can see here, it's gaining speed, it's gaining speed, it's gaining speed. It does not give a shit, it's just gaining speed. It just feels a whole different aircraft to what it used to be. Now what I should have done here is, I should have gone for the Ju-88. But I thought, no, common sense decrees that, I use that term a lot, decrees. Common sense would decree, deal with the fighter first, then deal with the Ju-88. Took me a bit to get the lead in, but once it did, goodbye RA2000 GA. First kill. It's quite clear he was grinding the RA2002. Which obviously I will be getting to spading after I've done these series of recordings and all that. Go with our head-on with this Ju-88. I don't know why he's trying that. Set him on fire, but that fire will go out because retard's luck. At this point, the teams are actually starting to get a bit more condensed. Obviously, there's 3 HE-100s around here. Sorry, no, 2 HE-100s and a BF-19E1. Do correct myself there. I should have said I tell a lie, because I used to say that a lot. And I'm deciding which target to go for. Obviously, I have the high ground, so I want to try and keep it that way. Because you've always got to have some high ground, haven't you, Anakin? I love Star Wars. In case you haven't noticed, I do love the Star Wars. So I started to dive down. Obviously, The Potez does lock up a bit past 300 miles an hour, so I want to keep it below that, preferably. But obviously the first flight in the RA2002 went really well. I was well impressed with the plane. I decided to target the BF-109E. My shooting is terrible to cannons, and we do spark there, but we do get a hit. Don't think I get the assist on that guy if I recall correctly. But at this time, well, at this point, I believe I am down to around about 30 shells. J-88 attempts to still be a heavy fire, so using my last scraps of ammo, because I've only got like 4 rounds left now, I downed the J-88. And that was me firing off the rest, because I'm not going to kill a plane in 4 shots with Hispanos. So at this point, I decide, well, I've just come out of a dive on the J-88. I'm going to use my speed and get the hell out of here. Which was a smart thing to do, as this HE-100 was attempting to intercept me, but, well, he takes out that Hawk, but he decided to break off to engage the Hawk, which, to be honest, was a smart maneuver. So now at this point, obviously, I'm returning to base. So there's not really anything interesting that happens from this point onward, other than a couple of ground targets, which I will show you, because the 20mm do work really well for them. If you want to know what rounds I'm running, I run stealth in Hispano 404s on the French planes. I run stealth in most Hispano-equipped aircraft because they just have the most high explosive. They tend to do the most damage. I actually landed it in cockpit view because I thought, why not? Adds a bit of a twist. Obviously the Spitfire over there is attacking ground targets as well. I'm just going to put it 2 times speed just to speed it up a bit because there's a bit of dead zone. But if you've not gone down the French tree, and well, if you have gone down the French tree and you skip this plane, please do go back. You're missing out on a lot of fun. Let's just say that. Because I noticed a lot of people prefer the 631 because of its improved engines and all that. But now, this thing's on par with it in terms of engines. It's only missing a bit of armament. That is it. That is the only difference between the 2 aircraft. And to be honest, that's how it should be. Obviously, first burst, first ground target, second burst, second ground target, third burst, third ground target. So yeah, obviously I got the mod done in 1 flight. This is the flight that did it, because obviously we got the win. It was only 480 RP, so it's not that much. But yeah, I'm well impressed with this aircraft. I will be definitely flying this thing more. I flew it a lot in Tanker B when I was grinding the French. Loved it to bits. And I will certainly be using it more if I have any skins to grind in lower tiered French tanks, but I don't think I do. The closest French tank I have to do that for, I think, is the ARL 44, and that's like 600 kills in arcade, 300 in realistic, so that's going to take a while. And even then, I wouldn't advise using the 630 in those sorts of battles. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's sort of PSA on the Potez 630. Really enjoyed this aircraft now. Obviously, the 20mm are a bit lackluster in terms of ammo count, but they do pack a mean punch when they need to. I'll let you guys off. Hope you enjoyed today's bonus video, and I will catch you all on the next one.